95.6.
So the Football Association have banned Aries Houlihan from playing on a ladies' team because she hasn't yet had a sex change operation that means that she will be a full transsexual. Now, she's been banned from playing until 2 years after her gender reassignment operation, but she says that the FA's legislation is outdated. Do you agree? Well, Aries joins me now. Good afternoon.
Hi everyone, you all right?
Hi, good afternoon. Well, thanks for joining me. So you're not allowed to, you can play in friendly games, but that's it, isn't it?
Well, yeah, because they're not sanctioned. So when my manager calls the other manager's team and explains the situation, they allow me to play basically, and it's not been a problem. But when I applied to the FA in June, it took months to get an answer, and in the end, they went with a process that, when I first applied, told me was outdated, because with UK law, you can be classed as female without having the actual reassignment if you're on hormones.
Right.
And you can prove that you've been living as female for so long, which is what I can do, because my driving licence and my passport is female. And so when I looked it up, I noticed in Canada that if you're on hormones for 1 full year, after that full year, you can then play in the women's football team because you've lost the testosterone advantage, because my hormone levels are identical to natural-born females now. So, yeah.
How do your teammates feel about this?
We just couldn't believe it, really. It was shock, really, for us all. Yeah, it was just total shock when they told me that not only do you have to have gender reassignment, even though hormones start working altogether, but you have to wait 2 years after the operation as well. So in theory, I could be on hormones for 7 years and then apply, and I'd still have to wait 2 years after my operation, which I don't understand, really.
It sounds incredibly frustrating. All you want to do is to get out there and play football, and these laws and legislations, they stop you from doing the thing that you're passionate about. After the journey that you've been on anyway, you'd think something like this would be kind of pretty straightforward.
Yeah, you would think so. And I've just been weighing things up, and if you think about it the other way around, if I was a girl going to a boy, transition-wise, what would happen that way? Because if it's the same as it is for me now, if it's in reverse, what the situation is that you would be taking testosterone to make me become as strong as a boy and such. So, but if I chose never to have an operation, which some people do, and I'm going from a girl to a boy, then I'm going to be as strong as a boy, but I'd always be allowed to play against girls. It doesn't make sense.
So when did you realise that this is what you wanted to happen? When did you realise that you were going to make the change to become a woman, to go through? Because I mean, I've talked to people before that have had these feelings, but you've still got the parts, haven't you? But you've had the hormones. Where are you in the journey of that?
So in March, roughly around March, I'll be going for my full operation. So it's not too long now. So it's been a 2-year journey so far. I mean, I knew from a long time ago, but knowing and doing something about it, you fight it, and in the end, you know, you live once, so you've got to either go with it or be unhappy for the rest of your life, and it's not something I wanted to do anymore.
How did your family take it when you told them?
Really well. Yeah, really well, and same with friends and stuff. I thought, everyone has different experiences, but from my side, yeah, I've had a lot of support, and I've got a YouTube channel as well, and there's a lot of people from all over the world come and talk to me on there, and leave comments and speak to me, and yeah, especially when my story broke in the news, I've had tons of support from all over the world. Yeah, it's been quite humbling, really.
So, I mean, it's a long process, isn't it? You have to talk to a great deal of people to be sure that this is what you want. And presumably, I mean, you have counselling too, don't you?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And
go on, sorry.
No, and so once you've had the counselling and once they've agreed that this is what you want and it's going to happen, what occurs next?
So you I mean, I'll take it from the beginning. So you first of all go into your GP, you tell them that you want to see a female. So they look at you because they're not used to the scenario and say to you, well, I'll have to look it up and find out what the process is and we'll take it from there. And then from that point on, you then visit another doctor to make sure that, you're not unstable, you're a stable person and it's not just a rash decision. And then from there you go through an assessment over 3 months at a gender identity clinic and they assess you as well. And then from that you've got to have evidence for a year to prove that you've been living as female. And then you can then be assessed again for hormones. So as you can tell already, everything's an assessment. So, and it's the same with every step you take forward, it's the same thing. And once you've had your gender reassignment, then it'll start becoming where you won't need to be doing that as much. Well, you won't need to do it at all. You need to maintain a healthy lifestyle as much as you possibly can, because if you don't, you can get blood clots. There's a lot of complications that can come of it. That's why it's important for the individual, like myself, to keep fit. And one of the things I love is football. So,
and this is what you want to be doing. And so do you think that there's any chance that this ruling would be overturned, or is this it? You've got to wait for 2 years.
I hope so. It's one of those things. I'm campaigning to get it changed, or for them to even look at it, or I don't mind them experimenting and getting me around the table and getting doctors to look at it. You see, the thing is, in Canada, the medical staff asked to see the hormone levels, whereas when they asked my doctor, all they asked for was to see if I'm on hormones, not for my levels or anything. So there just seems to be, from what I've seen, there seems to be a lot of gaps that need addressing. It's something that needs looking into properly, because it's not being looked into properly, because otherwise we won't be in the situation where I'm in now.
Does this happen much? I mean, you say you've got a YouTube that's being followed. Lots of people are talking to you on that, and perhaps people that didn't have anybody to talk to before are talking to you about this. But does this sort of thing happen much and we don't get to hear about it? I mean, how common is it, or how rare is it?
I think a lot of transgender girls don't really want to be in the limelight, and I don't either, but if something needs doing, I'm the kind of person that I don't mind speaking up if it's something that I believe is right and it needs sorting out. But you'll find not every transgender, but a lot of transgender girls, they want to just keep under the radar. But when they speak to you, obviously, there is a lot of challenging things in life you've got to deal with, and this being one of them. But from me having that channel, I found out about the Canadian process, and people do share information, and it's a really good thing to meet new people and stuff. So yeah.
And it's good that you're there and you're talking out about it. I mean, people that keep their feelings to themselves have now got an outlet or somebody that they can come and talk to, and be introduced to other people that they can talk to, so they don't feel so alone. Exactly.
It's really important to network. I mean, I've got friends. There's one person I Skype a lot from Washington State, and we've become really, really close friends. And, it's surprising. With the internet today, you can just talk to people, and it does really help. It really does help. If you feel you're alone, you're not alone. You can just go on there and speak to people, and, some people are shy, but ultimately you've got to take a step forward with your life and build friendships and stuff, because it's important to have friends around you, especially if you're going through a lot in your life.
No, of course. So you've got to wait for your gender reassignment operation. Is that going to happen in this country?
Yeah, it's all through the NHS. So it's just, you've got a little waiting list in between each step and stuff. So my next step is obviously the reassignment now. So around March time is a rough estimate of when I've been told. So it's not too long now, really.
I have a good friend that went through the same thing, but ended up having it, that the whole process was so lengthy that she ended up having it done privately and going abroad to have it done, and talked me through the whole process. And it's quite once it's done, it is quite painful, isn't it? Well, the things that you have to go through without going into too much detail. But of course, you'll be aware of it. You know about it because you know what's coming up. But it is quite uncomfortable what you have to go through daily.
Yeah, definitely. It's a big thing, and if you're serious about it, then don't get me wrong. The doctor will. You've got to show that you've looked into all what you're talking about now, and obviously the risks involved, and that you're happy based on you understanding those risks and weighing them up and deciding what you want to do for yourself. So you do have to go through a lot. It's a very, very hard life, and it's harder for some people than it is others. So yeah, it's not an easy thing to do, but if ultimately that's what you want to do, like anything in life, you can do it. So.
Well, I think that you're going to be an inspiration to many, and just by talking about it as well. And I do wish you all the best with regard to the football team. I mean, in terms of physical strength, would you say that you are stronger than the other girls on the team?
I wouldn't say so. It's funny you say that because the first game I played, one of the girls knocked my tooth out.
Oh, wow.
So I mean, the last game I played against boys, I actually got hurt, so that's what made me stop basically playing with the boys because I was just getting hurt. So that's when I joined the girls' team, and the first match I played, I had my front tooth partly knocked out, so I had to have it had to go to the dentist and get it fixed.
Oh.
But no, the thing about me, I think the difficult situation I'm in is that I've always been a long distance runner.
Yeah.
So when you're into running, you've got a good engine. So I'm always able to run and run and run, and that's fitness though, because everyone's built differently. One of my strengths is running, so I'm always able to run. But in terms of strength, no. There's some girls that are really, really strong, naturally strong. You'd be surprised.
Well, absolutely. Well, listen, I do wish you all the best, and I guess the girls just want to get you on the team and get you out there playing again. But keep us updated on what's happening, and all the best with the operation as well. Thank you very much for joining me today. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Aries. That's Aries Houlihan, who has been banned from playing on a ladies' team because she hasn't yet had a sex change operation.